So let me tell you a story. Me and my wife, we like coffee. We like to wake up, we like to have a cup of coffee and relax in the morning before we have to start our busy days. We got 2 young kids, craziness, both of us work full-time jobs, so we really like to enjoy our coffee. And the way that my living room is set up, I've got a chair, my wife's got a chair, our 2 kids have a chair, and we got a few end tables around for people to put stuff down, and knickknacks and flowers and plants and whatnot. And a while ago, I decided to make the kids a small little table to put between their chairs. And it was beautiful. Looks really nice, great for the Instagram, and the kids like it, sturdy, made out of walnut, beautiful, beautiful table. And of course around Christmas time, we put our tree there, so the table has to move. And this year, we moved the table next to the chair that I normally sit in, which was awesome. I had a table, I could put my coffee down, it was beautiful. Well, then Christmas ended, and the chair got put back. And of course the table got put back. And I didn't have anywhere to put my coffee. And of course, kind of bummed me out. But the maker in me, the woodworker in me, always gonna let that happen. So I decided I was gonna make myself a table. And whew, did I make myself a table. Here's the process. And of course, like you guys know, every table has to have an awesome top. And this table, no exception. I found this beautiful piece of walnut in my pile. And it was rotted, and it was pungy, and of course, it would have been thrown out. But I thought, I could work with this. Of course, I didn't have any stock big enough for the legs, or at least the legs I like. So I had to glue some together. No big deal. Pretty easy going. And I knew for this table, I wanted it sturdy. So, I had to do some mortise and tenons, which I love mortise and tenons. So much fun to do. And the way I do them is I cut the tenon on the table saw, hog out most of the material with the drill press, chisel away the rest. Glue the sides together. Nothing eventful there. As long as everything's dry fit together, pretty easy. Then I wanted to give it a little bit of differentness, so put those small little slats in the side. Ended up mortising those in so they looked clean. And of course, as you can see, beautiful pieces that I found. Some spalting in the sapwood of that walnut. And at this point, it was just gonna be a regular table, but I wanted something special. So I designed a drawer. And not just any drawer, I designed the concealed drawer, I like to call it, where if it wasn't open, no one would know it was there. And of course the drawer was pretty simple, just some oversized box joints on the bandsaw. And I do actually have a cool technique in this. I actually cut half of them with a fence setup, and then I have a spacer that's the curve size of the blade, and I cut the rest of them. And then if you match them up side by side, you will see they match up the curves, and you can cut the excess out and they ended up making a perfect joint, which is awesome. I forget where I seen that from, but really cool tip. End up gluing that together. The bottom is walnut. And now this brings me to the top. And of course, it was spongy and it was rotten, but I knew the perfect thing was epoxy for this. I've never worked with epoxy, but I figured this is the perfect project to try it out. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert. I'm not even gonna say I'm any good at it. I had a lot of failures on that epoxy pour. I did get my epoxy from a local company here in Michigan. I will throw a link down in the description. I did 2 pours. The first one, of course, didn't fill all of the voids as much as I want to. After letting it dry and set up for 24 hours, I ended up cutting it, milling it down. Threw on a slight round over on the edges just to break the edges and give it a little bit of an easier feel. And of course, sanding everything down. I noticed that there was some small air bubbles probably trapped in there, so I did do a 3rd pour of epoxy. So I knew with this walnut that this would look perfect with some oil-based polyurethane. I love the finish that it produces, but I wanted to try something new. So I grabbed my Homeright sprayer and decided to spray it. Never sprayed anything other than latex paint through it. So I was a bit worried, but I feel like it came out amazing. Sprayed very quickly. I think I got the first coat on in 5 minutes. Took me about 5 minutes to clean up. Probably one of the quickest projects I've ever finished. And as you can see, it looks beautiful. And I have a great place to put my coffee in the mornings now. And hopefully you like this story. And if you didn't, hopefully you like the process. If you don't mind, hit that like button. And you know what? Tell me in the comments where you're from so I can get to know you a little bit better. And you guys have a great time in your shop.